Hello, everyone. How are you? And welcome. I hope you're having a great day today. Welcome to my live stream. If you're just joining us, just be sure that you go ahead and click and let me know where you're chiming in from, because it's so awesome to have you guys here today. I did something a little bit different, and I kind of made my live stream noon on a Friday just to see if I can catch people from like other parts of the country, or other parts of the world, and see like the time and if this noon time is like pretty all right. Hey, Elisa, I'm going to just pop on. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. I have to admit, I like totally had technical issues. Hi, Alyssa. And Lucky3, thank you for joining me today. I had a little bit of technical issues today, so I was like rushing and rushing and rushing. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm glad you can hear me okay. But I was rushing and rushing to get like set up. That first I did like the fastest makeup. Like I literally, when you just have to clean up enough to get to the grocery store. That was me just a few minutes ago, just like dealing with like my technical issues. And then, yeah, I'm lucky I got lipstick on, but my gosh, my hair is like all over the place. And literally, I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm going to put my earrings on because I feel naked without them. I don't wear a lot of jewelry to begin with, but I just have to wear my earrings. I don't own any other pairs but this one. This one I got a pair as like from my mother-in-law, and I've been wearing it for like almost the entire time I've been married, which is like this August I would have been married like 20 years. So yay, my 20-year earrings. Yay, I don't feel naked anymore. Like I don't mind that it's kind of like, not so, I don't feel so bad so that I didn't totally get to do my usual YouTube makeup, but whatever. You guys don't care about that, right? That's not why you're here. We love crochet and crochet business. So welcome. If this is the first time you're joining my channel, I'm Karen Viloria-Miguel, owner and founder of Canada Bliss, handmade hats and accessories, and I'm doing a little noontime lunch live. Hi, folks. It's lunch here in Canada. I'm in Ontario, so we're in Eastern Standard Time. And you're from Chi-Town. Cool. Are you actually in Chi-Town, like in China, or are you in Toronto, Chinatown? So like, just like I said, guys, if you are joining me from abroad, then go ahead and chime in. Let me know where you guys are coming from. Saskatchewan, one of my Canadian gals. Hello, my friend. Hi, Danielle, Donine. I'm so glad you're able to join us. Yes, see, live streaming on a Friday is totally worth it because, Chicagoland. Oh, Chai. Okay. You meant like Chicago. That's where my aunt lives. So I have tons of relatives in Chicago. So sorry for misunderstanding that. Here I am thinking, are you in Chinatown, Toronto? But totally different place. Although Chicago is a lot like Toronto, I find, in terms of like how fun it is and like music and multiculturalism. I love it. Hey, Lisa from Alberta, how are you? Nice to see you. And Munich. This is Germany. I finally have my Germany friends with me. I know that J-Hook is from Germany, and she rarely is able to pop on. I think she was on my last one because she was just about ready to go to bed. But I caught you guys at a pretty decent hour this time. Isn't that fantastic? So good. Anyhow, I just wanted to say that, first of all, I probably should mention, if you haven't already signed up for the Crochet Summit, then you should totally check it out. Let me just give me 2 seconds and bear with me. I appreciate it. But I had some technical issues before I first started this live stream, so I wasn't able to get my screen shares up really quickly, but I can totally get them up very fast. So don't mind me that I'm not looking directly at the camera, because I will, but I wanted to share with you some items. So first of all, and I'll put in the link below, if you haven't signed up for the Crochet Summit, so those are like, unless you're not in the crochet world, you may, or you haven't been, watching any crocheters at all, you probably haven't heard about it, but I'm sure you have if you're in like the crochet, if you avidly watch anybody on Instagram or YouTube or follow any of the crocheters. But we're all getting together to do the annual Crochet Summit, and it was put together by Pam Grace, our crochetpreneur, and she is the one that was able to put it all together. She asked all us speakers to come together to provide tons and tons of information for you guys. So we're all ready to like share our juiciest nuggets of business and industry and crochet information that we can, like about designing and about taking awesome photos, TikToks, and that isn't so much me, but I'll be sharing more on like marketing for your crochet business, of course, because that's what I love, 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 love. And so there'll be people talking about how to like blog on YouTube or on like blogging or increasing your exposure to different things in like TikTok platform or making designs and that sort of thing. So give me a thumbs up if you already have your ticket. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you my the link in the thing below, so then you can literally grab your free ticket now if you like. Let's see here. Whoops, there it is. I put it in the comments if you guys want to take a look, and just click on the free ticket and go ahead and get your ticket, because it runs from June 3rd until the 7th. And basically it's going to be very, very robust, because we're all scheduled on a certain day and the speakers will be broadcast live. So if you are able to join it, you can catch it. But if you also watch it and love it, or are anticipating that you love it, and then you might want to keep those like the presentations for later, totally get the power pack or the all access pack. And it costs more than, like, there's a fee associated with that, but honestly, it's totally worth it. I attended as an attendee last year, and it was, I bought the power pack. And then after the power pack, what happens is I got the Pam, who's amazing, she literally sent everybody who subscribed to the Power Pack like a transcription of all the key important information from every single person's presentation. So if you even missed hearing it live, it's in this like 90-page document that she'll send you afterwards. Plus, you'll get access to all of the videos, so you can keep those for life if you want and watch them again if you're like there's something you want to do. Like, I was never a big blogger, and I kind of still am not, but I would like to do more of that in my own business. But I mean, we're in a crochet business, we can't all do everything. I'm already like running a product-based business, and I want to be able to be an educator for you guys too. So like that is busy enough for me, but I do want to blog a bit more. I used to blog about actually more about like employment and changing your career and doing like things that you love aside from your career, because you don't necessarily have to quit your career in order to run a great crochet business or even just have a fantastic crochet hobby. But I used to blog about that all the time before I even quit my job. And the funny thing is, like, when you put things out in the world, they really can happen for you. So it's funny, because I was blogging for years while I was still working for the school board. And that was, one of the coolest things that happened was that I turned my hobby into a career. So, and then from there is why I have this YouTube channel. So anyhow, that is how this all got started. And okay, so there's the link for the Crochet Summit. And I'm going to line up the video that Pam sent me. So this is another thing. I had a technical issue, so I wasn't able to send myself that video, but I'm going to do it right now. So just bear with me if I'm not looking at the camera, but I just want to show you this little greeting from Pam to you guys. And I'll screen share it so you guys can all see. Let's see here. This is probably the least I've been prepared for a live. And it's funny, because I was oops. I'm not that great at live streaming, and you can probably tell, but because like this is like one of my biggest like nightmares, that I wouldn't be prepared to show you the things that I needed to show. But I appreciate that you're being so patient with me and hanging in there. Look at you. You guys are all just hanging in there and seeing that. So anyway, Pam's, oh, darn. See, look at that. Okay. Oh, yes, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. Now let me know if you can hear it okay too, okay? So one second. Here we go. And I think you can all see that. So here I'm going to play Pam's greeting to us all. Oh, the sound is not working. So I'm just going to play it from my phone because this is like terribly embarrassing. Hold on. Into the stories of care. Here we go. I'm going to show it to you because I want you to all be able to enjoy it. Okay, here it is. And you'll be able to hear it through the speaker. So, oh, there's Pam. I'm sure she would appreciate it. So here. Hello, hello, hello. It's Pam Grice, the Crochetpreneur, popping into the Insta stories of Karen from Canada Bliss to personally invite you to join us to the Crochet Business Summit, June 3rd through 7th, for 30 presentations to help you boost your bottom line in your crochet business. The whole thing is free. We'd love for you to come, and we'd love to meet you, get to know your crochet business, and help you make more money. I hope you'll come. There you go. And again, consider getting the power pack because that'll be able to help you with keeping the information for a really, really long time. So check that out. Okay, now I have to ask you all another cool thing that has come out this week. Well, it actually came out a few weeks ago and they published the information. I'm not sure how many of you had participated in the State of Handmade survey. Can you give me a thumbs up if you remember filling one of these out for the State of Handmade? It's published by the Business of Making. Give me a thumbs up if you did that. Because if you're not familiar with this survey and you don't like already sell items and that sort of thing, the State of Handmade, basically what this amazing company does for the Business of Making is they put together a survey. I printed it, and they publish all the most important information for handmade crafters who run businesses. If you're not familiar with this, I totally have to share it with you. But let me know if you're familiar with the Business of Making and the State of Handmade survey, because I am going to get into what I find is some of the most interesting things in the survey, okay? Because literally it's like census data for just us crafters, hand makers, who some of us like sell items. So I got to share some of this information to you too. Like if you're kind of geeky like me and you like the numbers and you like data and you read the census results, census results are not the funnest things to fill out the whole survey, especially if you get the long one in a particular 4-period year. But once you get the information, isn't it just so good to have? Like, you got to thank the people who organize this demographic data, because otherwise, like, this is key if you run a crochet business, to be able to target your market, to know where people are, and to be able to market to them directly, like geographically. Who are they? How old are they? Like, anyway, this is about people like us, people who hand make. Okay, so I'll tell you about some of the information. So I won't cover everything, but I'll just cover some of the first nuggets. The first demographic information, they ask, like, are you male or female? no surprise here, like 94.8 of the respondents were female. So, okay, no, like that's not a surprise. And let's see. And then what else? A lot of the respondents, they did survey people from Australia, Canada, the US, United Kingdom, and the most of the respondents came from the United Kingdom. And I mean, United States, like 47.2 came from United States and 10.2 came from Canada. So how many came from the UK? About 16.6% of the respondents for this survey came from the UK. And then 17.5 came from Australia, which is pretty all right. See, that's kind of like our demographic right here, like Canada, UK. There's probably some, like Chicago, right? So literally this is for us. Okay. So that is most of the people. So when it gets to the income and money and that sort of thing, you're going to be interested about that because it's particularly pertaining to us. So the people who responded, the ages, most of the people who responded were in their, like 28.9%, which was the majority, were 38.5% was from the state of handmade. They were in the age between 36 and 50, and the next highest respondents were age 51 to 65. I'm from the US. Is that okay? Oh, absolutely. This data is from the US. I mean, the ladies who put this together are from the UK, but the information that they gathered, the respondents were from everywhere because they've surveyed people from, like, I think I filled out the survey myself. So I'm from Canada, but they survey everybody from like Etsy, and there's like, that's worldwide. Etsy, the US, the UK. Most of the respondents, like I just said, came from most of the respondents came from the US, Canada, and the UK. So this completely pertains to us. Isn't that interesting? So it's always okay that you're from the US. But thank you for letting me know that you're here. Let's see. Yeah, so most of the responses of this handmade survey. So let's get to more juicy stuff, shall we? I got caught up with a work thing. Oh, yay! Hi, yours truly, Rose. Guess what we're doing? Okay, I had a little bit of technical problems at the beginning of this post, so thank you guys for hanging in there and sticking with this until I get to this point. But basically, I put a link in the comments of the Crochet Summit. So if you haven't already signed up, get your free ticket. But I highly recommend you get the Power Pack because you get lifetime access. Oh, and I forgot, there's over like $3,000 in like free swag that comes with the Power Pack. Well, I guess it's not technically free, but I mean, if you bought only a few of these things on their own, you'd easily spend like $100. But I mean, there's like that, like, I know what I contributed is like, it's worth, I don't even sell it otherwise, like if it's not in my educational program. So your guys would be getting it for free if it's in, like, if you get the Power Pack, plus you'll be getting all those other people's. I'm doing over 100 content ideas for your handmade business for personal and business posting. So you should totally check it out. Thanks to yours truly and Lucky. Oh, fantastic. I just love that you guys are signing up, but let's get back to some of the juice. So check that out with the Power Pack. And I hope I get this live stream thing going properly, but I was running late. Anyway, you guys all heard that, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, so I also wanted to tell you, if you're joining us late, the Business of Making released their State of Handmade survey. This is gold. This is demographic information about people like us, so crafters and all of that sort of thing. You want to know what, your goals in comparison to others in terms of your crochet business or your crochet or your handmade business. It's in here. So I'm going to keep going. So the respondents are mostly from US, Canada, UK, Australia. And here, this is where we left off. So how many hours per week do you work on your business? The majority of people said they spend between 25 and 35 hours per week on their business. When I think about mine, I think that's about average, because I am full-time in my business. I could probably say spend more when I'm working on launching or building a product, like a new line of business. But excuse me, with let's see, with all of you too. I'll bet you that come August, September, when you're getting ready for your busy periods of like when you're crocheting for shows and that sort of thing, I'll bet you easily spend like 20 to 30 hours on your business as well. But it's springtime right now, so I usually use this period to develop new ideas. And of course, I'm focusing a lot on the education portion of my business. But in terms of selling, I think this is more on physical items. So people who sell physical items, the majority, 29% spend about 21 to 35 hours on their business. And the next highest respondents said they spend, which is 25% of respondents spend 11 to 20% of hours on their business. So if you're working in a full-time job or you're working part-time right now, I can understand why it's like that. And then the third, 19% of the respondents spend about 36 to 50 hours. Whew, those people are probably doing it full-time. So they're doing their crochet or handmade business full-time. So next one I found interesting was on a scale of 1 to 10, pretty much all your business time, do you spend pretty much all your business time on making your products, or do you spend your business time doing the marketing and you're not so much involved in making your products anymore? So hello, miss. Hello. I just wanted to make sure I say hello to anyone who dropped in. Handmade Designs. Hi, it's good to see you. I'm just going through some of the results of the State of Handmade 2021 survey. So basically what this question was asking is like, do you spend more time right now in your business making, or do you spend more time marketing and you're trying to get more, you don't do as much? For me, I'm in the range where I don't spend as much time making except when I'm designing. And but honestly, for me, I'm making a sweater for myself right now. I'll probably share it when I'm done. But I wouldn't count those hours in here. But it says that most respondents, like 20.1% of respondents, are still in the phase where they're rated on a scale of 3. They rated themselves on a scale of 3, where they're still pretty heavily involved. 10 would be like, I'm not as involved. I just do like the marketing and administration, and I do a little bit of making. And then the next highest is 14.3% say that they are 7. Like they're on this like 7 on the scale, where they're slowly getting out of like not making everything. They probably have people or crocheters who are helping with making, but they're focusing now on the marketing, the writing, and all that sort of thing. So this makes sense. Like I remember when I was making almost 100% of the time, and that's probably the time I was spending 36 to 50 hours on the business, because when I was making, my business took off. It was like, I didn't know if I could handle it, but I made it through and people were patient. So that was that. And then so here's an interesting one. What is the ultimate aim of your handmade business? What did people say? 49.6% said they would like it to be a full-time business, maybe with only one employee. That makes sense. And then the other respondents said that they would like a fun side hustle, which makes sense as well. What's your goals for your handmade business? Put it in the chat. I want to hear. Let's see. What if you sell, are you doing it part-time or full-time? And are you trying to make it full-time, or is this something that's just gonna be a side hustle until you retire, so that you have like a little retirement hobby business too? I want to hear what you do with yours. I'm in it full-time. So, but honestly, I would like to get even further away from making everything personally. And so that when my husband retires, we can travel and I could do this more anywhere. Like I want to be able to do this from like the UK or Europe when I'm older and my hands hurt, because my hands are toast. Like if you watched my my most recent video on crochet hook comparisons, like even when I was like crocheting that, I wanted to love the Furls hooks so badly. I kept my Furls hooks because they're just so pretty. I ordered them for the review, but they're just like my hand was cramping. I'd have to build up muscle memory just to use that. So that's a sign like I'm getting old, guys. Like I'm closer to 50 than I am to 30, okay? I really, really am. So, and my husband's only like 7 years away from retirement. So I gotta book it with like making sure that I can do less physical stuff. That's just me because I already have issues and my mom has arthritis. So I hope that doesn't happen to me, but that could happen, right? It will be such a shame. You're full-time and you make everything yourself right now. That's nice. Where are you? So are you are retired, or are you already like you're kind of full-time, but like this is your career kind of thing? I'd be curious to know because some people love making. Honestly, I'd probably be more involved in the making if I didn't have so many physical problems with my hands. So I just ruined them during like my 30s, or well, I've been crocheting since I was 6, but there are times, you know, when you just pound away and you ignore when you start getting the pang in your wrist and whatever. So here's another thought here. How many years have you been doing your handmade business? I'm going to put that out to you guys. How many years have you been doing your handmade business if you've been selling? I'd love to know. For me, I've been crocheting since I was 6, but I've been doing it for almost seven years now. Yeah, like I've been in it for over 7 years. So most of the respondents have like 51.6% said they've been in it for under 5 years. Interesting, huh? Then 5 to 10, so the people who have been in it for up to 5 to 10 years, 23.32%. That would be me because I'm like, have been in it for five to 10 years. And then about 15% have been in it for 10 to 15 years, like selling their handmade products. So where are you guys? The business. So Candy says that the business part has only been since the start of this year. Well, Candy, that's fantastic. I'm so proud of you. Like I'm glad you tuned in because I love helping other handmakers out with like how to be not just like making money, but like just being more efficient with how you do things so you don't suffer like physical ailments and you just want to be well while you're doing your business. I just put together my next video and I hope you love it because it's about real success and where it comes from. And it's not like maybe like for those of you who are strictly money motivated and all that sort of thing, it's fun when you get the money for sure. But truly, like I've just found like over the course of the last couple years, I really found where the success comes from. And I want to share that all with you, but I'm going to make you watch the video because I talk about how you can, like, I think it's a lot to do with like where you find your satisfaction from. I find it from like helping, like serving my customers and creating new things. But anyhow, I'll let you watch that video. Oh, look. Classy crochet, classy crafty wife. I started crocheting about 5 years ago and I know how to shop open. I sell online and I'm hoping to start on writing my patterns this year. Lovely. I hope you share those patterns with you. Guys, if you have patterns you want to share with me, whether they're free or paid, like send me a link. Join my Bliss by Hand group. I'll put the link below in the description after I process this video. But I'll just share it with you and whoever, because there's so many talented people. A lot of people interact on Instagram and will send me posts of the newest things that they make so I can share it. And I'm more than like, if you jump on the Bliss by Hand group, people are sharing what they make all the time. And on Instagram, I love watching what people are making. That's how I get into buying a lot of I've been buying so many patterns, just like, oh, I want to make this for myself or that for myself. So I get on these crazy tangents where I get pattern buying like crazy, just to make outfits for myself. Oh, you have a local shop in Chicago? I have to visit you. That would be so fun. When COVID's over, I am totally going to do that. Give me a second. I have to, excuse me. I have allergies, my friends. Okay. So yes, a lot of people are between the ages, like the years of under 5 years to 5 to 10 years who have been doing their business. Props to the people who've been doing it over 20 years. There's 4% of the respondents in this survey that have been doing it for over 20 years. Give me a thumbs up if you think you'll be doing it for 20 years. I kind of hope I am. The women in my family live really, really long. Like most people make it to 100, or like that most women in my family make it past 100. So I figure I'm just middle-aged now then. I need to know what I'm doing for the next 40, 50 years. So it's good I started, I'm sticking with the business. So let's see. Okay, I covered the respondents. I hope you guys found this interesting. I just love this demographic data, but I thought it would be fun to chat about. Yours truly, Rose, you finally make your own patterns, but didn't write it down. I'm kind of like that because I design too for mostly finished products. So the only person I've ever had to make patterns for, like I have a couple up on my YouTube channel, but the only people I've had to make patterns for are my crocheters. And literally they are so patient with me because I will show them like a really scribbled out piece of paper. I'll go crochet with them and I'll show them how to make it. And they are so kind that they'll write it out for themselves, but none of us have to really worry so much about writing it so it looks pretty for publishing because we're just the ones using it. So I type it out nicely afterwards, but I'll wait for them to make corrections in the pattern. Then I'll write it out based on the corrections. But basically, unless I'm doing it for YouTube or my blog, my patterns are written out so ugly. I should show you my book one day. It's my sketchbook is it's got everything in there. It's got my marketing plans. It's got when I wake up in the middle of the night and I think of a design, it's got ugly patterns written out. So I should do that. I should share that with you guys. I'd love to see your sketchbooks and your journal notepads of like, how ugly is it? Are you nice and organized where you have everything like perfectly laid out? Or are you like, I'm the messy artist who just, it's everywhere, you know? Anyhow, I'd love to know. Let's see here. I'm hoping I can learn how to do that in the CBS. Oh yes, I think there is a crochet. Then you definitely should get the power pack because I think there's a pattern writing kit that's in there and a pattern writer. So you're going to want to keep her video for life. And when you think about it, like they're pattern writing more expensive than buying than buying a course. So if you buy the power pack, and then you use her information to kind of like, see, this is how you got to be efficient. You got to get resources that are the most economical, but the highest, most accredited information that you can get. Because there will be people eventually like the crochet world. Is it you or me, guys? But are we booming? This crochet, like when I first started 6 years ago, I couldn't find anything pretty to crochet. Like everything was still granny squares, even that is like insanely popular right now. Have you seen like since Gigi Hadid like wore the granny square thing and then like there's pop stars wearing crochet, like what is up? I've been crocheting for decades and crochet has never been more popular. There are kids crocheting. They've got like freaking, they have like 20,000 followers crocheting or 100,000 followers. And I'm just like, this is insane. Like it's so popular. And here I am. We've all been crocheting for years and it's just insanely popular. I think we have to thank like social media for that because crochet has always been the cool, like very cool to do. So even since I was a kid, I always knew you can crochet anything. But anyway, yes, it's so true. It's booming and I love it. And that's why, but I want to warn you guys, don't be scared to do what you want to do in your own crochet, craft and hobby just because it's booming because nobody else will do it like you. Like I don't even worry like if, oh, I shouldn't shoot that video or I shouldn't put that pattern out because it kind of looks like that. No, don't worry about it. It will never be this. It's not the same unless you took their pattern, photocopied it, republished it. That's plagiarism. If you put your own spin on it, used a different gauge yarn, came up with a different number of stitches, it's a totally different pattern because once you're done with it and you do all the finishing, you give those instructions, that's your idea, your creativity, what you decided to use in terms of colors and design, that's yours. It's yours. So don't be scared. I'm so like, I guess I'm more free that way. Like, I know I'm like friends with a lot of like of these like advocates of crochet and some of the bigger people in the crochet industry. And I love Pam too, because she will always tell you the perfect right way to do it. But I just find that as crocheters and people of craft and artists, we're always apologizing and looking for permission to make what we want and put it out before, like I made this thing and I made a stitch, and can someone tell me what it's called, because I can't find it on the internet. What if you just invented it? Like, call it what you like. If someone messages you and says, hey, I invented that stitch, like, first of all, you can't invent like your own stitch and copyright it, because you can't patent like stitches. You can call it something, and then like if everyone else calls it what you call it, then okay. And then the crochet like guild or whatever, there's authorities that say that they're authorities, but you don't have to run it by a judge to say, am I allowed to say that this is this kind of stitch? In my lifetime, I've probably invented so many stitches that are probably considered wrong, but they looked good in what I was making, so I just kept it. And now people like on the internet are calling it what they want. And I'm like, you weren't born when I made this stitch. So like that, like, it's just not positive. Like legally, I'll tell this to you guys too. Like, if you're worried about copywriting, and I don't want to scare anybody, but because I know you guys want to ask permission, and always be sure you're not plagiarizing other people. And if anyone says, hey, did you rip me off? Then if you think you might have accidentally, then there's no harm in taking it down, calling it what it's supposed to be called properly when you find out the truth. That is the most integral thing that you should do. But I don't ever want you guys to be scared to put things out there just because you think that you have to ask permission to do it. Like, if you think you made it, then go ahead and do it. So, but I'm going to mention this, and I mentioned this in another live stream. I think it probably just gets buried because, I mean, only us on the live stream really see what's said, and some people hop on afterwards, but nobody's going to watch the whole thing probably. But here's the truth in terms of like copyright, at least in like North America. You can, and I got this a lot. I got very deep into this with my daughter, because my daughter is in high school and she is writing essays. And I told her it's very important to annotate bibliographies, make sure you're not plagiarizing. She's actually a very gifted artist, and she was accused of plagiarizing a photo, but actually she took it on her last Quebec trip. So me and her had to prove to her art teacher that she wasn't plagiarizing. So we had to send a spread of all the photos that were taken on this trip to show she actually took the photo, and she wasn't trying to submit someone else's art photography. Is that crazy? But anyway, yeah, like if someone says you're plagiarizing them, sometimes you have to protect yourself and say, no, I wasn't. But if you're scared of being accused of plagiarism, and you're not, then don't worry about it. The truth is, in the fashion industry, and which is what we are in, you are, you are not, you can't patent a stitch. It's like in anything in the fashion industry is a garment. If it's a garment, it's made for utilitarian wear, which means that you can't copyright it. You can't, like, that's why Jean-Paul Gaultier copies Alexander, or, Jean-Paul, like H&M can copy like Louis Vuitton or like the designs and stuff like that, because if it's a shirt, it's for utilitarian use. If it's a hat, it's for utilitarian use. There's only so many ways to skin a cat. And sometimes they completely rip each other off like 100%. But in order to like pursue that, it's almost impossible, because you would have to prove that, like, first of all, you can only copyright a written pattern, or something like a piece of art, like a print that has been used. So if someone say you painted a feather, and then you took a picture of the image, or you have that picture in a painting, and someone took a picture of it and printed it on a shirt and then said it was theirs, yes, you could go for them, because like that piece of artwork was what they created, and you totally just ripped them off. But it is plagiarism if, like, someone wrote a pattern, you kind of copied the whole pattern, put it on yours, changed less than 50% of the whole pattern, and then and then published it like your pattern, that is kind of plagiarism too. But if you started with a pattern and then started to make something, then it kind of like you added your own things, used different materials, change the gauge. It's not even the same length when you're done. You added adornments. You redid it again where you changed stuff. By the time that thing is done, that's yours. And then you're like, unless you write out that pattern and it's the same as someone else's word for word, then it's not plagiarism. So I don't mean to be like cavalier about plagiarism and that sort of thing, but I just find that crocheters tend to ask so much permission before they will like be brave enough to put something out there. So just, friends, be brave. And I'm going to go back to, let's see here. I started crocheting at coffee shops. I started crocheting in my basement in St. Catharines, Ontario, making dolls, Cabbage Patch doll dresses. Let's see. Yes. And that's a lovely thing too. Crochet community is so lovely and welcoming and fun. So this is the best part of crochet. Like everybody, for the most part, I find everybody's just very kind. And by nature, maybe it's because we just love to be making our crafts. So just go with it. I'm going to go back here too, because I do love these demographics. These are so interesting. In the State of Handmade survey, they were saying in the past year, your handmade business has, and then 63% says their handmade business has grown. And then 19.2% have said it's about the same. So, and then 17.8 says declined. I understand the whole decline part because like we are in COVID and that sort of thing, but pop in the comments. I'm interested. If you sell your handmade stuff over the past year, I know we were dealing with COVID and all that sort of stuff, but did yours increase or decrease? I'll tell you my experience. Like for me, I have to say, and I think I shot a video about this too in my crochet success lessons video, like my lessons on what I learned over the past like 2020 year. And what I found was, okay, yeah, a lot of boutiques were affected, but only like in the heat of it, like in the heat of the pandemic, when people were closing down. The truth is, like, not all the boutiques that I sell to closed down. A lot of them are able to weather it. I find the ones that were able to weather it are the ones who were able to jump online, or they're like, they were quickly savvy enough they had photos, they were able to hop onto a platform, show the stuff they still had in the store. They probably still had product photos from their vendors. And if they were quick enough to use those vendor photos and put the products out there, then they lasted long enough before like any kind of like federal sort of like monetary injections were given to small businesses. And but I think the ones that closed down were probably people who might have already been on the verge of closing their business anyway. So I don't know if we could have, and maybe it was like that little push, like, okay, I can't make it now. Like if you were kind of like, if a boutique was like stretched to the limit and then COVID hit, I think that broke them. But if they were doing quite well, they had a good audience, they had a good loyal consumer base. Heck, they were doing porch drop-offs of the products. I was still able to send out orders to people, to boutiques during COVID, because they were making it. They were making it through. So I'd love to know, was in the past year, how did you guys do? So you sold on Facebook. See, that's another online platform. If your audience was there, that's probably how a lot of people stayed. Your local shop was open mid-pandemic. It's been doing well. See? And you know why? It's no surprise, Classy Crafty White, because look at you. You're already so social. And if you are like this with your customers, which you probably already are, then they probably are very loyal to you. They probably kept buying from you through the pandemic. If they follow you online, you probably made sales when you posted new things. People were at home like, I love that. How much is it? And they probably bought from you. Oh, look, we have our friend Jay Hook. I think whoever was quick to switch their mindset succeeded regardless of the situation. Yes. I think I was fortunate because I was already shifting more towards online because I was already selling online, and anybody who was on Etsy, or is used to having their own website was already quick to, yeah, I can move with this because now it's cool because I don't have to pay for a show fee. So I actually grew online, and then my gross revenue dropped overall because I like a lot of my even though shops stayed open, they didn't place orders for some of the time because they were just, I think they were scared about the cash, which I totally understand. And but I grew online. And my overall net revenue was higher because my overall costs were lower, because one of the bigger shows I participate in is $5,000 for the show fee. Yeah. So I didn't participate in that because it was canceled. So that's a huge chunk of overhead expenses because you're paying show fees, electricity. When I go to the show, I have to pay for catering. Sometimes like you have to, like, there's food expenses. What else? There's booth fees, transportation. I have to rent a truck. So there's like, it's a huge investment. But for me, it makes sense because I make way, way more than that at the show during that period of time. So I always end up with like a net profit. But since that wasn't running, most of my net profits came from online. So because I didn't have all that other overhead, heck, it did pretty okay. And then all the people who normally look at me at the show, I have their mailing list, and I'm always like, I'm in contact with them too. So they ended up still buying all their gifts for Christmas presents and that sort of thing directly from me. And I'm like, wow, usually they'll visit me at the show, but because they bought from me online and I didn't have to pay for the overhead of the show fee, oh my gosh, it was awesome. And then I had the best spring ever because in spring, that's when spring of 2000, was it 19, when we all originally got locked, no, 2020, when we all originally got locked down, everybody was like mad online shopping. And again, because I already have my own customer base on an email list, I just started blasting them. I'm like, hey, look at these. And I'd remind them of the pictures that things I already had in stock. And then people were buying. So it worked out really, really well. So yes, definitely, J-Hook, if you could switch, then it was totally like much easier to switch over. Let's see what we have here. Kathy Kujawa. I know very small boutiques in a very small town. They started doing unboxings and selling fast as it. Oh, that isn't that fantastic? Those were fantastic ideas when people did that, because it's like voyeurism, because we were all stuck at home. I think people should continue doing those things. What I'm interested in, chirp in the comments, guys. Chirp in the comments if what do you think is going to happen after everything opens up? Do you think online is going to dip, and like, what do you think is going to happen to buying behavior? This is my opinion. Classy Crafty Wife, I think you are in such a good position that you like made it through, because you're probably going to take off. People are going to be, this is what I think. I think people are going to be dying for social interaction with people. Like, I try and schedule as like about 2 or 3 Zoom calls with like crocheters and crafters and my friends from around the world a couple times a week, because it helps me keep going. But if you are the type of shop that does like a learn to crochet workshop, or let's make a hat together, that kind of, like, you do these little workshops in your shop, you will kill it, because you already, like, if you have a small shop, I would recommend you already plan out these things, start making kits, start offering like these workshops in as big a group as you can get, where you're not violating the like social distancing rule, where, like, you know, we're still Ontario, so we still have to stay indoors, but like where you can stay like a meter apart. I don't think that's as much a deal in like the US, because so many people are already vaccinated. But I would be setting up those kits and getting your advertising ready to do in-person workshops, because those are going to flood in. People who only even half like crochet are probably going to be attending your classes because they're dying to be around other people and doing something fun, you know? So I think it was, and then I think it would be a great idea. Bear with me. I have allergies, so I apologize for this. I'm just going to, okay, there we go. So if you have a little shop, then I would highly recommend that you do that. That's where I think the trend will go once things open up. People will be looking for online, so not online, they'll be looking for social interaction. So, but it doesn't hurt that you might have already set yourself up online, because then now you have both. So I used to consult at a martial arts gym, and I used to help with them because they have a before and after school program. And I helped them set that up. And then what happened when they were hit with the pandemic, they started all their classes online. And then when they were able to open up, both the gym and the online stayed open. They're going to keep both open. So I'd say just strengthen both and just keep going that way. I think shows like craft shows will still be fun to go to, but I think they have to be more cognizant that we don't necessarily need them for marketing anymore. Because over the course of COVID and the pandemic, we all kind of figured out how to do a lot of this on our own. Give me a thumbs up if you think that's true, but like that's what I think. Jay, hey. Oh, this is so sweet. Hey, Jay, hey. Hi in India. I appreciate your lovely comments. And let's see. Oops. Yours truly. I did in-person craft classes out of my home, but it was before COVID and before my second child. Yes. But yeah, you know what? And here's the other thing too. I didn't do it out of my home because my husband is like a massive germaphobe, even before the pandemic. But our house isn't that big anyway. But if you have like friends who have like shops, a lot of like, if you make friends with some of the shops that you sell to, and they're local shops and they're looking to bring in traffic, a good idea is collaborations between your online group and people that you know and already buy from you, and an open house where they have you in there and you teach a class and you use their space to do a workshop, and then basically just have kits ready, and then book a whole bunch of people. You could share the revenue. They'll shop from them, and then they'll also learn from you. And then you just make it a collaboration. That's another thing you could do if you don't have a physical space like Classy Crafty Hook, where Classy Crafty Wife, where she has her own shop. If you know that you have like boutiques that already buy from you locally, then hey, collaborate with them. You know what I ended up doing was the martial arts gym that I was helping them with their marketing stuff. They had they renovated and they made this beautiful like before and after school program, and their waiting room was just gorgeous. They had chairs and beautiful tables. They redid the floors. And then I asked them if I could do a crochet class on Saturday or Sunday. And they didn't even charge me. They were just like, yeah, we're not using the space. Here's the key. Like lock up. They trusted me because I'd already been like helping them for over like 2 years. So if someone has like a retail space and they don't use it on a certain day, then use it. And then, or ask them if you could use it. Or what I also did was after they let me do that, I did open houses for my buyers. I bring physical product into the thing. I'd merchandise this little space in the martial arts gym, the front reception area. I only made the front reception area like this little area. I put refreshments there. I invited my buyers in, and then I also the retail buyers, and then I also opened it up to the public if they wanted to make any purchases. So people popped in because it was like a retail space. So just make sure you have insurance. That's my little bit of advice. So, and then I think a lot about, oh, look at that. Everybody's into it. I think a lot about big festivals and shows how trade centers will have to work very hard to convince people to come to physical events. Now that we all know you can just do as well online. That is so true. Or you can make your own physical event. Excuse me. I think that physical events will still kind of be fun, like especially outdoor events, because in Ontario, we have like wineries in the Niagara area, and there are some amazing craft shows. I'd probably still participate in those because I love them. I think it's so fun. The people who go to those are hilarious because they're mostly like women who show up with their girlfriends and they just drink wine all day and shop, like shop, 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 shop. So I'd want to do those ones. The ones that are like in indoor events, I'd probably still do those only because my busy period of the year is also the year that it's coldest and it snows. But I too would love if they could just lower the cost of that, because I don't know if they get the same caliber. There are some amazing, amazing artisans that I interact with in Toronto that have been artisans for like, oh my gosh, like 30 years. And COVID, they were just like, this is crazy. Once they retired from shows altogether, and they're learning how to be online, and they're like 50, 60, 70-year olds. And now that they know how to be online, like thank God for them, they were able to convert their clients over to a online platform. So I want to drink wine all day and shop. I do too. That's the thing too. That's the thing with like the pandemic. Like I won't even this like we sip and crochet sometimes in the afternoon. And like it's fine. I mean, if we're not getting sloshed every day, like why not? So it'll probably be weird when people have to like go back to work and they're like they can't take a sip at lunch. Anyway, I'm not judging or calling anybody out, but I love a little afternoon nip, you know. So let me see if there's some. I just wanted to share some other things for you. These are so these data things are so interesting. Hold on, what's this one asking? This one was asking this question: approximately how many individual products did you sell in 2020? And interestingly, a lot, like 46 of the respondents sold under 100. That's pretty low, but I don't know. I found that kind of low. So anyway, I thought that was interesting though, that under about 46.10% sold under 100 items. Okay, the next level respondents sold 100 to 500 items, 25.9%. So that's interesting. I'd love to hear where you guys fell in terms of how many units you guys caught. Hey, Susan. Yay! She's also on my Bliss by Hand Facebook group. If you haven't joined that yet, go ahead and join below. But Susan has like gorgeous crochet hooks. You need to take a look at them. They're in the Bliss by Hand site too, but I'll try and get the link and put it in this one too. So yeah, so I'd be interested. If you have a shop though, of course you would have probably sold over 100 units of stuff. So, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Oh, thank you. Yours truly by Rose. Yes. I'd like to get the engagement up a little bit more, but I think it has to do too with like me posting questions. And I have to get better at like jumping on it and like seeing what you guys are up to, because I love it when you guys share your stuff, the things you make. I'm like, oh my God, I am not talented. I'm more of like, I make simple. I like simple designs. That's my style, but the color combinations you guys come up with your designs are just, I love them. Gorgeous. You guys are so talented. It's just fantastic. But oh my gosh, I think I've almost been on for an hour. So listen, folks, my kids are getting their vaccine today. So I have to scoot. So I can't let this go on a little bit earlier, but there is so much from the State of the Handmade survey that I really wanted to like chit chat with you about. So I'm going to pick up where I left off on my next live stream. But if you haven't, again, signed up for the Power Pack, I'm going to put a link here if you haven't signed up for the Crochet Summit, please do so. Like I mentioned, it is so worthwhile to upgrade now because the price is actually going to go up after it starts, because once people start seeing people's presentations and how good it is, and then the supplementary material that has been provided, you wish you got it on the discount. So like if you're signing up for the free one, great. I think it's still open to you guys. If you've signed up for the free one at this point, just go into the link and then upgrade it to all access or Power Pack, because like the stuff that they're giving away this year is insanely good. Like I mentioned earlier in this group, I signed up last year just as a participant, and I bought the Power Pack, and I looked back. I still look back at the Power Pack and all of the things that they provide, and they're providing too free coaching. But if you'd like coaching from me as well, I mean, you can always click a link below. I mean, why not? It gives me research input too on what I can provide on my YouTube channel too. So please go ahead and check that out. And if you haven't seen my crochet hook review, then check that out. But don't get offended. I mean, if I don't love furls, because I do love furls, it's just that I have hand issues. So I noticed someone unsubscribed and gave me a thumbs down. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. People are going to give me the thumbs down. At least it's not hate messages, right? But honestly, crocheters don't do like so often. They rarely do hate messages. So I wouldn't think that you guys would do anything like that because you guys are so sweet and you showed up here for me. Oh, J Hook. Well, I can't wait to see you at the summit. Mine is on June 5th. So if you don't opt in for the power pack and or all access where you get the taped recordings, then you can catch me live and I'll be in the chat afterwards. It'll be June 5th, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can catch me there. And yeah, and I hope I see you all there. So please put in your calendar. Don't miss the day that I'm online because I'll be there live to chat with you guys and meet new people. And oh my gosh, you'll be able to meet all like these other people. And I'm very curious to watch some, like I'm really looking forward to see, I met new Canadian crocheters. I'm going to go over a little bit. We'll get to the vaccine soon. But I'm curious. Who are you? Put in the link. I mean, in the comments. I want to know who you're most curious to watch. Okay. So I want to see Coco Lee Crochet because I think she's a gifted like media person, and she's so good at like putting her projects out. Her aesthetic is just gorgeous. So I'm interested in her. Knititudes. I don't know what her first name is, but I'm curious to see Knititudes because she's Canadian too. She's from Alberta, and yeah, she's like very cool. Like she's very laid back. I ended up chatting with her on Instagram a little bit, and I like her like very like she's very funky, very chill and fun. So I can't wait to watch her presentation. I'm curious to watch Gregory Stitch too. I'd like to see what he has to say about high fashion and his take on it, because I know it can be kind of a like fashion, like especially high fashion can be it can be a jaded industry sometimes, but I want to know how he navigates around that. Maybe he'll focus more on his pattern selling and that sort of thing. Hello from the UK. People are popping on. So, and me, of course. You're too kind. You're so sweet. But so please hang. Oh, now we have a few more people popping on. But so I'm curious to see that. Oh, of course. And of course, I'd love to see Alicia's presentation. She's always so charismatic when she's presenting. So I'm sure it'll be a hoot because she's got the best sense of humor and the sweetest personality. So I'm definitely going to watch Alicia Littlejohn. But I'm very curious too about some of the people I don't know so well and have managed to meet. And then I'm very curious about this TikTok guy, the guy knit. What's his name? He's the amigurumi guy. This guy has made amigurumi like the thing on TikTok. Like I think it's because he does Pokemon too, and Pokemon in general is like very hot. Like my son is totally into Pokemon, and for the longest time I called it Pokemon, and it like grated his ears. But anyway, during COVID, it's a godsend that they even have any kind of hobby. So I buy these Pokemon things. This will be my first summit. It'll be interesting. So then don't be scared to like get the upgrade to the power pack or whatever, because you don't want the price to go up and you're like, oh, gee, I wish I could see that video again or whatever. You're going to just get all of them. Just upgrade. So anyway, friends, I have to go get my kids vaccinated. I'm sure you understand. But thank you so much for tuning in today. It was a hoot. And I think I'm going to be changing my upload schedule back. I don't know if I like being here during the day because I get all you UK people, but maybe I'll try doing Friday afternoons and Thursday evenings, but we'll see how it goes. But I definitely love connecting with you guys during the day too. So yes, maybe I'll see you in the chat when we watch the amigurumi guy. Okay, friends, I'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to comment below what you liked most about this live stream, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.